everyone, welcome to Life Threads, where we talk about all things work, life, and the big messy intersection of the two. So on this episode, I'm going to be talking about a fascinating question, which is, should we really separate our personal lives from our professional ones? And or is it all part of one big part of our personal life? This is all part of our personal life. And this is something a lot of us wonder. This is something that I myself too, this is something that a lot of us cannot really find a balance between, because it's is there really a balance? And we're living in an age, in a time where everything seems to be really interconnected, rather. Everything seems to be joined together. So, I've met people, sometimes they say, oh, I can't really, post this, I can't really make some comments on my Twitter platform, which is now X anyway. I can't really make some comments on my X platform because my bosses might be watching my platforms, or my bosses will be looking at what I'm saying. And which makes me question, is that not supposed to be your personal life? Is that not supposed to be the personal thing you're doing? Why is it, connected with work? And in this video, I'll break down the traditional work-life balance concept, and why some people think that the lines should be separate, and also why others believe it's all part of a whole life. So before we get into it, I'm just going to tell you guys this video is in 4 parts. Like we did in the previous video, I'm breaking this down in 4 parts to shed more light on this topic. Let's get into the first part, which is the traditional work-life balance point of view. And this point of view, it's always been a norm that work and life were kept in 2 separate boxes, or 2 separate spheres. And you had to work your time, which is mostly 9 to 5. You had to do your 9 to 5, and maybe after your 9 to 5, you go on with whatever you have to do. That's your personal stuff. And then but what I want to ask now is this balance actually possible? The way you say, I finish working my 9 to 5, then I'll have to go and chill. Is it really possible? If we're talking about, is it really possible? So anyways, so for many, keeping these 2 areas separate actually brings clarity. That means you're able to focus on your job during work hours, and then fully unplug and focus on your personal life. That's after your work hours. I guess this actually does sound ideal, but with remote work, constant digital access, and changing workplace culture, things have started to depreciate, or let me say blur. That's a better way to describe it. Things have started to blur out. Things are beginning to enter another thing. With the way work culture has changed, there is a remote culture. It's the same way you can get up and start doing your work at any time of the day. All this affects the balance of what is supposed to be your work and your life. So what does this actually mean? Is it a bad thing if we're not able to keep work and life separate? Is it? Well, we're going to talk about it. So now I'm getting into part 2, and this part is about an integrated approach to life and work. So on the flip side, some people argue, or some might argue, that work is just another part of our personal lives. And if we're spending a third of our day at work, it's not easy to mentally check out or separate completely. And I really agree with this, because most of the time we spend is in the office, or it's at work. Most of the time, most what we're doing 1/3 of the time is we're working. We're trying to get this money. We're trying to get, make ends meet. So that just goes to say you're spending most time in your office or in your work area. And what I would say is, so it really does have to, check with the balance. So in fact, a lot of people feel more balanced when they're actually at work. And, and it's just they actually feel much better when they're working. And that might make work a very critical part of their lives. And, this perspective is sometimes called work-life integration. When you're able to acknowledge that, okay, fine and good, this is work, this is what I have to do. So it's you acknowledging that no matter what I have to do, I must work. I must do this, I must do that, but whatever I'm doing, I am getting my work done. So when you've understood that, okay, work-life integration is actually very important, is what we need to do. Let me say, you're not necessarily neglecting one part, you're not also necessarily neglecting the other part. You're not neglecting your work, and you're not neglecting, your life, what you're supposed to do for yourself. You're not neglecting the personal side, the physical, the spiritual, and, so many parts that make you, or that makes us humans, or who we are as people. So, okay, so this perspective sometimes, like I said, is work-life integration. And this idea is the idea that balance doesn't rigidly go with dividing your day into work or personal sections. Like, for instance, taking a break during work hours for your kids, or to catch up on a workout, could be a sign of integration. I said that earlier. So you don't necessarily have to neglect one to do the other. So you take breaks, okay? Okay, let me quickly finish my work. Let me quickly get this done. And then you go back to your personal side. Okay, what do I really have to do? Because I've seen people that, especially with the way things are, I really would love to say, okay, COVID happening had its positives, it had its negatives. So one of the positives was the fact that we could actually work from home. And then you see people getting their work done, and as they're getting their work done, they are cooking, they are doing this, they are doing that. So you're balancing it, you're integrating everything together, as long as the two sides are not lacking. You're working and you're doing what you have to do personally for yourself. But anyways, I'll also say that there are challenges with this too, because in everything we do, we have to set boundaries. So without boundaries, some people may feel burned out more easily when work feels like it's always on. It's hardly, so when work feels like it's always on, it's hard to fully relax. And yet, like I said, doing this together can actually cause burnout. So I don't want to contradict myself on what I'm saying, but what I'm basically saying about, integrating this approach is finding a balance. In as much as you're integrating these two things together, you have to find a balance, because you're going to get burned out. And why I'm saying this is because most people will choose to work from Monday, anyway, not choose anyway, we have to work from Monday to Friday. You're working the whole week, and then you save Saturday and Sunday. You say you want to go out on Saturday and Sunday. No, I personally don't agree with that, because you tend to feel fatigued. You tend to get tired. I used to do that before, where I work Mondays to Fridays, and I'll go out during the weekend. I was always tired, because it's not easy to do that. So what I would recommend here is try to incorporate these personal things in your week. Like, let's say, okay, after work today, do I still have strength? Let me go take a walk. Or before work starts, you can just take a walk. Okay, after work, I have to go do this. I have to go take drinks with the girls. I have to catch up with my family members. So it's all about finding time and finding, balance between these things. And because if you say you want to save your work days for only the weekdays and enjoy yourself during the weekend, where is the time for you to really rest, like really, really rest? So I'm going to leave you with that question. But before we get to, the last two parts, I know you guys are enjoying this video just as much as I am enjoying it. So guys, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe. And I also want to say, if you want to be featured on an episode, please leave a comment. We'd love to have our subscribers with us here on set. But guys, before you do anything, subscribe. Get us to 5,000 subscribers. Aren't you enjoying the material, guys? So, yeah. Please subscribe to our video and subscribe to our previous videos. T for thanks. So let's get into part 3. So the part 3 of this video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of both approach. And, number 1 under this point will be separating work and life. And what the pros of this is, clear boundaries can help prevent burnout. It's easier to focus on personal growth, and it reduces the mental load of juggling both at the same time. But the con of this is, it can feel very rigid. It can feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and it may not be possible for people working from home or demanding roles. And it can create pressure to switch from one mode to the other. So number 2 will be blending work and life. So the pro of this is, flexibility to structure your day, opportunities for spontaneity, and a chance to make work feel more meaningful. But the con of this is, the risk of burnout. Like I said, burnout is the major, con of this, because if it's not well structured by you, it's not well balanced by you, you're going to be burnt out. So the risk of burnout is if you can't set boundaries, and it's also hard to know when to switch off. Well, ultimately, there is no one-size-fits-all approach, like I was saying earlier. It's all about understanding yourself, understanding the demands of your job, understanding the nature of your job, and what works best for you. Like what works best for me, or what might work for me that, because I work in a hybrid setting, so what might work for me might not be what will work for someone that is working fully remote, or what's working for, might not work for someone that is working on site every single day. So it depends on you understanding, okay, because I also feel like most people don't even make time for themselves. Their whole life is work, 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 work. And to an extent, that's okay. That's who you are. But we need to find time to, rest. Our bodies need this rest. We need to find time to calm down and say, oh my God, I need to actually do these things. So you're not lacking on both sides. You're not lacking on the parts where you have to deliver. You're not lacking on your personal life. You just have to find. So like, I'm talking. So imagine people that are married, people that have children. They have their jobs, but they also know that they have to be there for their kids. So that's why you have to find a way to find. That's why you have to find a way to create balance between these two things. It's really, really important, because your personal life cannot lack, because one is going to affect the other. So that's why you have to try your possible best to find balance. I know easier said than done, but slowly but surely we're all trying to navigate this together. So the part 4 of this will be tips for finding your balance. So whether you're trying to separate your personal life from your professional life, or blend them seamlessly, here are some tips to help you find unique balance. So number 1, set boundaries that works for you. Boundaries are very important. I've said this in a lot of our previous videos. I've emphasized on boundaries. Boundaries are really, really important. So even if you blend your work and your life together, having clear stop lines can help prevent burnout. So knowing when to just take a pause and, okay, I have to attend to this. So your brain is not clogged with so many things. This is for this is for that. Understanding when there's, like I said, like people always say, or like our adults always say, there is time for everything. So set out time, okay, this is the time I'm going to take to do this, and I'm going to do it. This is the time I'm going to take to do this, and I'm going to do it. So it's all about setting boundaries for things that, setting boundaries so that one doesn't affect the other. Then number 2 will be to communicate with your team. So let others know your preferences and limits, especially if you work from home or have a flexible schedule. So there's some work cultures that people would call you after work hours, or they would try to reach out to you when they know that you people know that work has closed to 9 to 5, but you're calling me out by 6, by 7, by 8. So it's left for you to communicate and set your boundaries and tell them that, okay, I don't think I will be able to attend to this now. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Can we talk about this during work hours? So maybe only in extreme cases of emergencies. But I don't want to excuse that kind of behavior, because everybody deserves their own personal and alone time. So what happened to the whole 9 to 5? You didn't reach out to me to ask me anything. It's now past the work time. So let's try to communicate with people. Tell them that I can't do this. No, reach out to me when it's the work. Because the more we enable this culture, the more the work-life balance talk is just tossed, because you're enabling things like this when you're not supposed to be enabling them. So work time is work time, and time to do other stuff is okay. So like I said, this works for different work schedules. So it depends on the kind of schedule you have and understanding what works best for you and your team. Then also you have to be very mindful of technology, in the sense that, avoid checking your emails late at night. during personal time unless absolutely necessary. So only when it's necessary, keyword, very necessary, you can check. Then if it's something you want to chip in, you chip in your 1 or 2 ideas and, let yourself off the hook. But, you have to limit the way you're on your screen. I went to, like, I need to tell you guys how bad this thing is sometimes. I was in the club one day with somebody, and then in the club, this girl was reading her email. Like, I don't know what she was looking for, what her boss sent her that night. She was on her mail. People were dancing, enjoying their session. She was reading her email. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it's not supposed to be like that. So personally, I have limits for my phone. So I set phone, Apple does this stuff where you can set limits for your phone. So when it gets to a particular time, I'm not allowed to open that app till the time has elapsed. That's when I can access that app. So I just better for me not to know. You can't, what I don't know will not kill me, basically. So you have to limit, you have to be very mindful. I am very, very mindful, honestly. Then, reflect regularly. So what this means is, so it's okay to approach your techniques as you go. It's okay to, regularly check in on yourself. So you have to ask yourself, okay, what's working for me? What is not working for me? Is this, so that's what I said earlier in the video, that you should try to find what works for you, depending on the nature of your job, depending on the nature of what you do, your life. Like, just examine yourself. It's like a cross-examination. What you do, then it's going to be able to create a work life that is seamless for you, that is best for you, basically. So ultimately, work and life are both part of our journey, and it's not something that we can just pick, choose, or discard. It's part of us, and finding a balance or integration style that supports us is key. So we can't discard our work, because we need to work to get basic things, to earn a living, and we need to also live life, because life is short. So it's all about integrating these things and, finding balance. So anyways, I really enjoy talking about this today. I really enjoy talking about this topic because it's a topic I really enjoy talking about. And I'm really, really glad, like I said, I really enjoy talking. I'm really, really glad I spoke on this. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in on today's episode of Work-Life Balance. And I'll just leave this here. So whether you keep things separate or integrate them, remember, it's all about what makes you feel fulfilled, healthy, and happy. It's all about how you feel at the end of the day regarding the 2 aspects. And we don't want I personally wouldn't want you guys feeling tired, extremely sad, extremely dizzy, extremely confused, when you can sit down, reflect, and understand what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So anyways, guys, please drop a comment on this video. Let us know how you approach work-life balance, and don't forget to subscribe for more episodes. I really enjoy talking about this kinds of topic with you guys, and let me know what you guys would also like us to talk about on Live Threads, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.